So we finished our slip stitch heel and we're ready to do the heel turn. Now in the pattern that's linked in the show notes, we finish our slip stitch heel on a right side row. So we've done a slip knit all the way across, and then we're ready to do a wrong side row here. So the way that we do the heel turn is this. We slip the first stitch and then we're going to purl across the number that it tells us in the pattern. For the baby sock that I'm doing, it's actually a purl 8. And basically what we're doing here is we're purling to halfway across plus 1. So let's get across to our purl 8, and I lost count because I was talking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, just one more. So we do slip 1, purl the number it says, which for us was purl 8, and then we're going to purl 2 together. And then we're going to purl 1 more. Now you'll notice for us, for this size, it leaves 4 stitches on the end. Now your size may leave something different, but it's helpful to pay attention to that because it helps you know that you're in the right place on the other side. So when we go to do the second row, we're going to turn. We're leaving those 4 stitches over here. We're going to slip the first stitch purlwise. We're going to knit 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to, and that's the same for every size, because we're going to slip 1, knit 3, and then we're going to slip, slip, knit, and then we're going to knit 1. And then you'll notice that over here, we have that same number of stitches. I had 4 over here, I have 4 over here, and then we're ready to turn. Now when we do the rest of this, it gets a little easier because you don't have to know the numbers, you just have to be able to see things. So we're always going to slip that first stitch with the yarn to the wrong side of the work. Here I'm going to purl until 1 stitch before the gap. And what do I mean when I say by the gap? We're going to do this. I'm going to show you here. I'm going to purl to the gap. There is the gap. And you can clearly see how there's a big gap between that one where we turned and the one that was the leftover. We're going to purl 2 together to close the gap. And then again, we're going to purl 1, turn it around, and we're just going to do it again, but we're going to do it on the knit side. So we're going to slip 1, we're going to knit to 1 stitch before the gap. And like I said, when you're looking at this, seeing the gap is going to be really easy to see. So 1 stitch before the gap, work a slip, slip, knit, and knit 1. And then we do it again. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working through this. And basically what we're doing is we're just making a little cup to hold the heel of the person or the baby or the dog, I don't know, that'll wear your sock. So again, I'm purling to the gap. And here I've gotten to almost the end of my row. So I'm purling 2 together to close the gap. And then I purl 1, and then I'm to the end of my row. But that's perfectly fine. That's going to happen on every size. And then I'm going to do the knit side just the same. I'm going to slip that first stitch, knit across to 1 stitch before the gap, and my big old thumbs are in the way, but just to remind you how easy it is to see the gap. So I'm going to knit 1 more. I'm going to work a slip, slip, knit. And then I'm going to knit 1, and then my heel is turned, and you can see, I'm going to pull this through a little bit, how we have a little cup for the heel of the foot.